Hello everybody and welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. We are pausing the video there to tell you about our sponsors today, who are OneFootball. OneFootball is the best app out there, it really is. We use it when we're at the games. We use it also when we're on live streams because it has up-to-date pings, tells you when Newcastle have scored, tells you about incidents during the game, and it also you can check the app for all the stats about the games. But even better, you know what it's like over the summer. It's going to be ram-packed with transfer rumours. OneFootball puts all of the articles across the web into one place for you. Download it. It's free. The link is in the description.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. It's Scoring the Players, live, sort of, at the ground, sort of. It is Newcastle and the Liverpool one Scoring the Players. Martin Dubravka, Harry, made some wonderful saves throughout the game, and if it wasn't for him, it might have been more than 1-0 Liverpool today. Yeah,
as you said, I thought he made a superb save in the first half. It made it probably look a bit better than it was, but when he's flat that one over the bar, I can't remember who headed it. I think it was Jota who headed it. Yeah. Martin Dubravka for me could have been our man of the match today. It was either him or Bruno. I don't want to score too high because we have lost. I'd give him an 8. Give him an 8.
I don't want to score for too high, but I'll give him an 8.
Well, I was tempted to go for a 9 because he's made three or four brilliant saves.
Kicking could have improved today because I think there was a couple of times when I went out for a throw-in, but that's the only thing criticism of him I would have.
What's your mark?
Yeah, no, I'm giving him an 8.
8 out of 10 for Martin Dubravka. I'm going to start with Matt Targett, left back. Slightly at fault for the goal. He gets caught and he's kind of stuck between Diaz and Keita, and it was just kind of like, oh, what do I do? But he's been quite solid throughout the whole game, but I felt the defence were fine, really. It was just a couple of glimpses where you just knew that if Liverpool just had a bit more of a killer instinct, they could have made it 2 or 3, but in terms of Matt Targett, I'm going to go 6 out of 10 for his performance today.
Was it him that cleared it off the line?
Yeah, that was a good block, but I just think when you look at the goal, I know the referee, everyone will say in the comments whether it was a foul or not, but just from that moment on, I think Matt Targett he's kind of caught in position, but caught out of position rather. Centre half Dan Burn for you, Liam. Again, comfortable-ish against all sorts of different attacking quality from Liverpool, but again, I don't think he really did anything that bad. It's just one of those games, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he just had an average game. I think he dealt with the players that he needed to do, but I don't think he done anything more. I think, like you said, every different player was different. Jota was different, Diaz was different, Salah was different. All different players, but all interlinked. So I think for me, I'm going to go 7 for Dan Burn because I think he done well. He handled them. Do you know what I mean? I think the whole back four, you can't really pick a fault. Obviously, you're saying Targett was for the goal, but never mind. But I think it was solid. That team could have easily battered us 6-0 today, and they just seemed like they just maybe weren't up to it, or they knew once they got one in, it was going to take a lot to score past them.
Fabian Schär just signed a new 2-year deal yesterday, Harry, and today he came off with this injury, which is a slight worry considering we've only got 3 games left. But again, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, we're not going to be relegated this season, so not the end of the world. But how did you rate his performance? Similar to Burn?
Yeah, I didn't see too much wrong with what he did. Obviously, it's a huge test against Liverpool today. He picked up that knock. I didn't think his passing was great from then onwards, to be honest. I didn't notice too much wrong with the first 25 minutes, but I think I noticed him giving the ball away after his injury. I'd probably give him... What did you give Dan Burn?
7, I think.
Yeah, he did.
I think Dan Burn was slightly better, so I'd probably go 6.5, but I can't really pick a fault with too much with Fabian Schär today.
I thought Emil Krafth was actually really good today for Newcastle. I really do. I think Luis Diaz is tough, and he did have a couple of times he'd have the beating of him, but I felt for the majority of the game, I thought that Krafth was pretty comfortable, considering who he was up against. But it was actually really good to see how good he was against elite opposition. We've got Liverpool, we've got Manchester City. It's going to be interesting, and some guys is looking at us like, what are you filming here for? But anyway. But in terms of Emil Krafth, again, where do I put him? Was he as good as Dan Burn? I'm going to go 7 out of 10. I think he has really, really improved. Can he get to that next level? We'll wait and see. But in terms of today, solid defensively.
Seemed like when Diaz only got past him towards the end of the game.
When he had cramp as well, Krafth, he got absolutely...
Yeah, so I think obviously that's why they made the change, but I think before that he kept Diaz really quiet, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he did well. He's obviously against a much probably the best winger he's faced.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely up there, but I thought he made a couple of rash tackles, but what can you expect?
Exactly. What can you expect? But getting your comments below, what do you think of Emil Kraft's performance this afternoon? Moving into the midfield, Joe Willock for you. Liam, what do you make of his performance today? I was pleasantly surprised to see him in the team because I thought he was going to be on the bench, and I thought Chris Wood would have started. But how do you think he did? I thought he was quite quiet on the whole.
Yeah, I think he was really quiet, to be fair. It was just a mere performance, and I feel like that's what we've seen a lot of him this season, where he's just not managed to get with the pace of the game. Maybe him, Bruno and Shelvey doesn't work. Because I couldn't even figure out what sort of position he was playing. Obviously, Bruno was sort of pushed up high. Shelvey was like a holding midfielder, and I actually don't know what Willock's position was. He made some decent runs, but then he also made some stupid mistakes. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to give him a 6, just an average score for me.
I'm just going to say on Willock, I thought he was really good at leading the press early on in that first half, but off the ball, I thought he played well. But on the ball, he sloppy passing, I think, for me.
Did John Joe Shelvey have sloppy passing this afternoon, Harry?
At times, but he played some brilliant balls in behind as well. Some absolutely fantastic balls out to Allan Saint-Maximin this afternoon. I thought Shelvey was pretty all right. I didn't see too much wrong with what Shelvey did. He worked hard for the team, as he always has under Eddie Howe. I'd probably give him a 6.5 as well.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that was John Joe Shelvey because I think there was sloppy passes, but again, similar to Maxi, we'll talk about Maxi a little bit later on. He's an outlet. He can give us something. Shelvey has that pass in his lock, and we've been talking about this for years. But I just felt if some of the players around him were on a similar wavelength, I think it might have benefited Newcastle this afternoon. Bruno Guimaraes for myself, I think he's very, very comfortable on the ball, and it was good to see what he was like against a Liverpool three of the Hendersons, Keita, Milner. I was surprised Milner started, but he didn't look out of place today. And that was probably the biggest positive for Bruno fans out there. He didn't look out of place. If a couple of other players on a similar wavelength, I said in the match reaction, I feel like Jacob Murphy slightly bottled it, but it was a really, really good pass. He had our only shot on target. I'll go 7 out of 10 for Bruno this afternoon. Moving a bit further forward, on the right was Miggy Almiron, Liam. Was born offside today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He pretty much was offside more than he was onside. But I know I've probably been his harshest critic since he's been at the club. But he was a lot more offensive than what he normally is. It's good probably seeing him offside because normally he's just running. He's pretty much like a fullback at times. Do you know what I mean? In the last 2 years, so I think he took his chance well, but it was offside. Do you know what I mean? But I think I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him a 7 because I think he had his work rate there, and I think it probably would have been. He would have been maybe an 8 if he wasn't offside, like 4 or 5 times for me.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah,
so frustrating today. It really was. I wouldn't have gone that high with him, but I just think he's just so frustrating.
I thought he was making a lot better runs than he usually does as well.
Yeah.
He was coming across the pitch. He looked lively, but as you said, born offside. He just couldn't get himself onside.
I think there was one time when a player was called offside when he was in his own half. I think it might be in ASM or Joe Linton, and I'm thinking, what is the referee team doing today? Like they were poor. I think even the linesman and the referee were poor that day. So
yeah, fascinating. Get your comments on Andre Mariner's performance. Joe Linton, Harry. He just loves a battle. He loved a battle and he got stuck in. I love that. And I don't think he gave Liverpool an inch really in terms of when he had the ball. He wanted to just try and get stuck in as much as he could. He got a yellow card, but do you know what? Sometimes you just need to do that. I remember Roy Keane saying sometimes I just put in a challenge to make myself feel a bit better if I wasn't in the game. But going forward, I don't think he did a lot going forward, but I think he was there to do a particular job today.
Yeah, he stuck out on that left-hand side for a lot. He interchanged with Maxi in the first half, going through the middle on the left-hand side. He was an outlet in the air. He fought well with Joe Gomez at times, and then when he dropped back into midfield in the second half, he fought hard. He always does. You know what his role in that side is. He's to win the ball back and to try and move forward with it. But as he said, he didn't do too much going forward. I think I give him a 7 just for his work rate and his athleticism and his physical ability. I think he performs well today as he does, but it's not one of his best performances.
He did win a lot of he did win a lot of his headers. Mine, I think that was the outlet from Dubravka when before Chris Wood came on was hitting along too. I was going to say Chris Wood. I mean Joe Linton. I'm getting all the players mixed up. I only had 1 pint. But yeah, I think Joe Linton's. he's just a different player since Eddie Howe's came in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have seen Joe Linton shoving 2 players when Steve Bruce was in charge. Do you know what I mean? To be fair, they hit the deck straight away as soon as Big Joe came along. Do you know what I mean?
Certainly did. Allan Saint-Maximin, I feel this one might be a bit interesting in the comments because, again, he is an outlet. Again, he has the ability. But you're playing Liverpool. Think about it a little bit more often. I think it's a really tough one. I don't know how to mark this one because he did have spells on the ball. He did have spells on the ball, but again, was he just trying to do a bit too much? Was there much end product from Allan Saint-Maximin today? No, I don't think there was. I'm going to go 5.5. I'm going to go 5.5 for Allan Saint-Maximin today. I don't know what he really gave Newcastle at times. I think he gave Newcastle a little bit of a headache, especially down the middle. Is that his fault? Is that Eddie Howe's fault? Probably more Eddie Howe because he started him in the middle. But again, I thought Liverpool handled them pretty well. Does anybody disagree with 5.5?
Oh, maybe would have went 6. Like, I think some of the times he had about 3 players on him, and there was not a lot he can do against 3 players. But he was frustrating at times. But I think if you haven't got the players around him, then he's not going to be able to dribble past the whole Liverpool defence and score.
What about you, Harry?
I don't disagree too much. To be honest, I was thinking 5, but that's probably a touch harsh. As you said, he is an outlet. He's always an outlet for us. But when he's coming inside, he's facing Matip and Van Dijk, who are just massive. They're outmuscling him off the ball every time and buying fouls where they shouldn't necessarily get fouls. But tough afternoon for him, I think. Yeah.
Maybe I expect a bit more from him because of the ability that he's got. But get in the comments, do you agree, disagree with that rating? First substitution was Jamal Lascelles, who came on for Fabian Schär. Liam, difficult to think of a defence without Fabian Schär at the minute, but Jamal Lascelles didn't really look massively out of place, did he?
No, I think he only made one slight mistake when he came on, because I think he was on him for about 40 minutes, wasn't he? Oh, 35 minutes. So I think just straight down the middle, 6. I think he came on, did a job, and well, he pretty much done his job. Really, he kept the Liverpool attackers quite quiet.
Yeah, he certainly did. Chris Wood, frustrating.
Yeah, he won a few aerial duels. He was putting the work ethic in, but it just that chance where he's just offside. I don't know how tight it was, but it looked very tight. I just wish he would keep himself on side. I cannot remember who we were playing, but when Target slid him in a few games ago down the line against, was it Crystal Palace? I wish he would just keep himself on side. It's frustrating because, again, you possibly should have put that away. But
there was no real power in the shot as well. It looked like he hit it with his weak foot, which obviously it pretty much just dribbled in Alisson's hands, really.
Yeah, it did. Jacob Murphy wasn't on long enough, so he gets a non-applicable for me. Eddie Howe. It's an interesting one with Eddie Howe because Liam, this is probably one of his bigger tests, considering he's got the money back. He's had a bit of money to spend and been on a fantastic run. Tactically, did he put out a good enough plan against Liverpool today?
From the shots, no, but I think we kept the Liverpool's front 4 quiet. I think if we got a few more shots on target, I think if he could have maybe have started Chris Wood, but then you've got Van Dijk and Matip there, so I think he's done well with what he had. I think it would have been a different story if we had Callum Wilson. I got it right this time. I think it would have been a different story if we had Callum Wilson fit.
What rating would you give him?
Eddie Howe, 7.
7 for Eddie Howe. Would you have gone that high for Eddie Howe today?
Not quite. I would go for a 6 personally. I think I was very surprised to see ASM starting up top with Joe Linton and Miggy in a front 3. I didn't see that working. I think Chris Wood just is more of an outlet. He provides a bit more variation to our game. We can pump it long a bit more, and there's more of a chance of us retaining the ball. I don't have too many problems with the team and the tactics he picked today, because obviously it's a huge test and we cannot expect to get anything from Liverpool. So 6 out of 10 for me.
I'll probably just about agree with 6 for Eddie Howe. I do disagree. To be honest with you, when I looked at the Newcastle United team today, I was thinking, yeah, I like that. And mainly because I've seen Liverpool's team, I'm thinking, ooh, they've rested a couple today. I still think there is probably that argument to start Chris Wood and then take him off after 65, 70 minutes. But I don't massively disagree on that. I just felt we just didn't really have a massive go at them. Only one real shot on target, which was an easy save for Alisson all day. Alisson's not had to do a lot today. and Liverpool have come away with a comfortable 1-0 really on the face of it, but he kept us in the game for as long as he physically could. Maybe a lot to learn from today, and saying how can we get from A to B a little bit more quicker, because I felt it was just a lot more backwards passing, a lot more sideways passing, and any time it was a long ball it was like too high, and you're asking for trouble. But
Liverpool seemed to always have an extra player.
It did, didn't they?
Wherever it was, Liverpool had an extra player, no matter what position. Like, it just seemed like just as soon as it was like the second ball was straight to Liverpool all the time.
It really was. But anyway, that was what we're giving Eddie Howe, 6 out of 10. Do you agree or disagree with our ratings this afternoon? Put them in the comments and we'll reply to them very kindly, as we always do here on Newcastle Fans TV. Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you all very soon.